you're not lazy or inconsistent. You might be using a program built for a different brain.
In this episode, Marc and Idi break down the concept of neurotyping and how your brain chemistry can influence the way you train.
Last week, we talked about reducing friction and removing the speed bumps that stop you from staying consistent. A few listeners messaged that they did everything right. They were wondering, why do people stay consistent for years while others start strong and fall off? The answer isn't discipline. Take instance, Marc and myself, two coaches, same goal, completely different approaches. The difference comes down to how your brains are wired. All right, so let us get into it. Welcome back to the Ready for More podcast. Strength is for everybody. I'm Idi.
And I'm Marc.
All right, today we're going to give you the cheat code for understanding how your brain chemistry shapes your training style. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming fun looks the same for every brain. Neurotyping changed how I look at training because it asks a simple question most programs ignore. What actually keeps you engaged? If you're copying an influencer's workout and it doesn't click, it's not a character flaw. You might be training with somebody else's brain. So people show you a celebrity or an athlete program and they say, I want to train like that. Inspiration is fine. The problem is copying that exact program, the schedule and intensity, and expecting the same result. A program is built around the personality and recovery capacity, your nervous system and your brain. So take example, Marc. Marc's training works for Marc because of how he's wired. My training works for me because of the way I'm wired. Neurotyping isn't a label or excuse. It is a filter that explains why some programs light up and others just drain you.
So yeah, Idi, I remember when you first talked to me about this in 2018, I didn't know what to make of it, but as you versed me better in it and talked to me about how this is largely determined by your neurotransmitter level. So if you're, serotonin deficient or if you're high in dopamine, it influences certain personality decisions. Like, do you seek out thrills or do you shy away from thrills because your anxiety tends to be higher? It helped me understand a lot more why I trend towards certain situations or certain decisions. That's the word. Certain decisions that I do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I noticed you always were the one that always wanted to lift like heavy. And I just literally wanted no part of that. But yeah, this is why. All right, so I'm going to go through quickly the 5 neurotransmitters, the 5 neurotypes. Okay, so listen closely to the one that most likely might be you. All right, so you have type 1A, and that'll be Marc. Okay, so one word there, the grinder. So it's all about high intensity, low volume. Marc, correct me if I'm wrong. All right, so the type 1A, the grinder, high intensity, low volume, likes heavy strength.
Yeah,
Low reps, short intense sessions, and they want clear numbers. They want to push too hard, and it's always short intense sessions, and it's all about numbers for them.
Yeah, I mean, to put it bluntly, there was a point in time, now we've matured a little bit, but there was a point in time, if we're not lifting heavy, what are we doing? Why are we here?
Why are we even living?
Yeah, why are we here at all?
Now the risk for Marc is like they can burn out. The risk because they push so hard so often, then they have a tendency to burn out. But we're going to talk about that a little later. So that is Marc, the 1A, the grinder. The type 1B, these are the athletes. So think of explosive, a fast learner. They like jump sprints, power work, technical challenges. They need variety inside of structure. So think CrossFit, the elite athletes that just get stuff quickly.
What are all the kids doing these days? High rocks. That's like the other where you'd find a lot of 1Bs, right?
Yes, you would find a lot of 1Bs, but you also have the other types trying because, High rocks is just like CrossFit is more of a community, and a lot of people like community, and some people that are not really versed in CrossFit was a big thing now, High rocks. I mean, they do it, but it's not necessarily something they'll do all throughout the year. They're kind of going to do it for one-off. If the friend says like, hey, I want to do a High rocks, will you do it with me? So yes, High rocks is a version of being a 1B variety. So now you have the 2E. Think of a chameleon. They're highly adaptable. They love novelty. They like rotating exercises and phases. Pretty much a different program every 2 weeks. So these are the people that if they're very stressed out, they're going to go more into a certain type, which we'll get into a little later. If they're feeling good, they'll go more to your type of training, Marc. So that's going to be the type A. These are the chameleons they could adapt. The type 2B, that is the feel lifter. So think mind-muscle connection. Think a bodybuilder. They care about sensation. It's all about the pump. It's all about time under tension, isolation. Again, the mind-muscle connection. And these are the 2B. And we have the type 3. So these are the structured thinkers. That is me. Predictable. It's all about safety for them. They like clear routines, set rest periods, and the exercises are consistent. They don't try to break any records, and it's all about safety for them. So they're gonna master one exercise or a bunch of exercises for like 6 months, while Marc, on the other hand, Marc is like, what the hell are we doing there? 1s and 3s are sort of similar in that way, because 1s, like Marc, they don't necessarily need a lot of exercises. They just need it to be intense, and they need to do it often. Marc will train 6 to 7 days a week. I could only handle 3 to 4 because I produce the most cortisol, which again we're gonna explain later on in subsequent podcasts. So the program that feels like it's fun for one person can feel like absolute punishment for somebody else. So take, for example, Marc's going for 85-90% of his deadlift. I mean, I will do it, but I'm going to need at least 4 or 5 days of recovery. Marc could do it the next day. That is the difference. So if I'm trying to parrot Marc's program, then I'm going to pay for it in the long run.
It's funny to think about.
Yeah?
As you know, I like coming up with little ways to torture you sometimes, so you might be giving me ideas.
I know. Yeah, but it's like, just like I told you, I'm the hum of what is. So there's nothing you could tell me. You could tell me, what are you doing, man? Are you are you a little, this kind of guy is like, no.
To speak to this, a few years back, there was a competition I was taking part in regularly, the Tactical Strength Challenge. And I can't tell you how many times I told Idi, come on, do it with me, like compete with me. It's 3 different events. It's a max deadlift, a max kettlebell snatches in 5 minutes, and max amount of pull-ups. You got a lot of people watching you. If you go to a venue where they have a lot of attendants or participants. And man, after like maybe 4 years, I just gave up. Like, Idi's not going to put himself in a situation that is high adrenaline where everything is there's a rush. Whereas for me, people yelling, just kind of like egging me on, it puts fuel in my fire. I think for Idi, it just makes him want to get off the stage that much more quickly.
But that doesn't mean necessarily I will not do it. I just need to be prepared.
No?
For you, you could say, I want to do
Tell
it
me when.
tomorrow, and then you're going to do it tomorrow. For me, like, if I don't prepare for like 6 months, I ain't doing it. But for you, you could just like, I want to do that tomorrow, and you're just going to do that tomorrow. For me, if I do that, like, I'll just be petrified because I'll be like, I'm the most anxious of the type, and anxiety just means the brain is always constantly working and just thinking of next steps and strategies and stuff like that. But yeah, so here is a simple way to diagnose what type you might be. So one question you will ask yourself: why did you stop or quit a program? So if you stopped because you get bored, maybe most likely you are type 1B or type 2E. You stopped because you burn out. Maybe you are type 1A if Marc went 95% and over longer than this prescribed, like 20 to 40 minutes. Maybe he went for over an hour. He's going to burn out. And also a 2E. It all depends on their stress level. You stopped because you felt disconnected from your workout. Most likely a 2B. Remember, the 2Bs is all about mind-muscle connection. It's all about feel, and they don't tend to go more than 80%. Usually they go a little lighter with more reps. So if they feel disconnected, usually that's a 2B. You stopped because you felt chaos and it was just hard to organize. Most likely you're type 3. So just these three questions, these questions you could ask yourself to kind of determine what type you might be. And your failure pattern isn't data. It's not shame. Use it to build a program that speaks your language. All right, so here's the takeaway. You're not lazy or inconsistent. You might be using a program built for a different brain. When your training matches how you're wired, your sessions feel natural. The plan feels engaging, and consistency stops being a fight.
My takeaway in this conversation is that I should start reapplying the pressure to you to compete at the TSC or at other events, since you just said here today that you will do it. Now,
I said I will do it providing I'm prepared.
So now you just gave me the incentive to start bothering you again. So It happened today. What's today's date? May 11, 2026.
Today's May 11, yeah.
The pressure is back on
But
you.
is the, I mean, are they even doing the TSC anymore?
It's under new
I
management.
thought they stopped it.
It's not under the strong first flag. They're doing it under different management now, or it's like its own thing. But hey, Idi, there's tons of powerlifting competitions out there that we
But
can.
what if we do a high rocks together? Now, you know, high rocks is not my thing, but again, I could always prepare for it. And it's a lot of running stuff you and we don't like.
All right,
Yeah, maybe we
Idi,
do
I
a
love
high rocks.
competing. I love competing.
Yeah,
hey, look,
I know you, that you do.
Everybody heard you say it here today. We're doing a high rocks or some kind of competition.
Let's do it.
Everybody hold him to it. Comment. Hold him to doing this stuff.
Yeah, so what Marc and we are going to do, we're going to give away 5 neurotyping tests. But to enter, you have to drop a comment answering 3 things. Are you training right now? What kind of training are you doing? Is it lifting, running, classes, hybrid, or other? And do you actually enjoy it? So these are the 3 questions you have to you have to answer. And you also have to include neurotype. Okay, we'll find you and we're gonna hook you up. All right. So the first 5 people that complete these comments, we're gonna reach out to you and we're gonna hook you up. Also, I want you guys to also take the strength audit at geteveryreadyfit.com. It's 3 minutes and it gives you a clear starting point. Next week we'll get practical. We're going to be talking about next week how to build the training. So now you know what neurotype you most likely are. We're going to talk about how to build that training week that fits your brain chemistry. So session structure, variety, rhythm, and how to stop programming against yourself. All right, so strength is for everybody.
We think. No.
Yeah, we think. Yeah, strength is for everybody, and we'll see you guys next week.
We'll see you guys soon. We'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong.
All right, stay strong.